This program is brought to you by Stanford University. Please visit us at stanford.edu.
Leute! Dürft frei sein! I'm wearing a bright yellow shirt. Yes? Yeah, we were? Oh, I should have just made this map on
We're reflecting.
What's up, Mom? Here we come, Wayne.
Congratulations, class of 2008. Go Con!
Okay, now there you go.
Hi, Mom.
Woo! Woohoo! Oh yeah. Wait. Well, there's a shot though.
What happened, dude? I'll only 10.
I don't even get into that life. Oh, you're out there! Pretty good! Woo! Take him down! Take him down! GSB! 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 ¡Saludos para mi mamá!
I need you to move forward and say we're not getting any loving. No love.
What would the places you'll go? Hi.
Hello. Are you warm?
Come here. Right there.
Oh, that's his camera.
Superman. Superman, that stuff.
go.
You said 30 seconds, and you're going to play about a minute longer.
Ring out, wild bells, to the wild sky. Ring out the old, ring in the new. Ring out the false, ring in the true. O God, eternal spirit of all life, on this very special day, the 117th commencement of Stanford University, may we stop living from one minute to the next. May we step back from worries and cares, from duties, from tasks, from the ordinary pressures of life, and may we here and now take a larger view of life. We celebrate the personal growth and transformation that lie behind us, behind those who graduate today, but also behind the rest of us as parents and relatives, as friends and mentors, as professors and staff, and other members of the Stanford community. Before us lies the future, one of great hopes and dreams, but a future unseen and untested. As we commence life anew, may we, in the words of the poet, ring out false pride in place and blood, the civic slander and the spite. Ring in the love of truth and right, ring in the common love of good. Ring out the old shapes of foul disease. Ring out the narrowing lust of gold. Ring out the 1,000 wars of old. Ring in the 1,000 years of peace. May our education free us from repeating the mistakes of the past, personal and collective. May our acquired knowledge and our evolving understanding guide us so that the things that matter most are not at the mercy of the things that matter least. And may we act wisely and generously so that in the end, it cannot be said that our lives were lived in vain. Amen.
Graduating students, faculty colleagues, former and current trustees, government officials, distinguished guests, family members, friends, and Oprah, I warmly welcome all of you to the 117th commencement exercises of Stanford University. I'd like to start this morning by wishing all of the fathers here today a happy Father's Day. We offer you two presents today. First, you get to see your offspring graduate. And second, no more tuition. A special welcome to the graduates from our schools. Today we will award 2,117 master's degrees and 947 doctoral degrees. And of course, to the wonderful class of louder. A. The class of 08 will have 1,702 bachelor's degrees, including 340 seniors graduating with departmental honors, 268 graduating with university distinction, 90 students who have satisfied the requirements of more than one major, and 49 with dual bachelor's degrees, 134 who have completed both a bachelor's and a master's, and 407 students completing minors. Congratulations to you all. Throughout its history, Stanford has brought students from around the world, and this year is no exception. 83 members of the undergraduate class of 2008 come from 38 different countries. And 77 countries are represented by 940 winners of master's and PhD degrees. Now, you may notice this morning that I started with a great deal of statistics. But before you jump to the conclusion that I do this because I'm a computer scientist, let me say that reciting these statistics is an historical tradition of our commencement ceremonies. Of course, every tradition was at one time or another new, and hence not really a tradition. Some started as political or cultural responses to the stuffy traditions of the day. But after a while, they often became ingrained, or sometimes even a bit antiquated. But the wacky walk, which many of you observed for the very first time, has become a part of Stanford practice and lore. But we are not worried. With Stanford students' inventiveness, it will never become antiquated. This balancing of old and new, the innovative and the traditional, is a challenge that universities has faced for years. Universities are prized for their traditions and are often the primary home for discussions and debates about the ancient and timeless questions facing humanity. At the same time, universities must look forward. They must be bold as they contemplate their future and their opportunities. This need to renew and reinvent the university while building a firm and lasting foundation has been a theme in the speeches of many of my predecessors. Indeed, our first president, David Starr Jordan, in his inaugural address in 1891, reflected on this when he said, "It is for us, as teachers and students in the university's first year, to lay the foundations of a school which may last as long as human civilization. It is hallowed by no traditions. It is hampered by none. Its fingerposts all point forward." Today, 117 years later, we have established some traditions, but we have not forgotten President Jordan's exhortation. We remain mindful of the need to reinvent and to move forward. And as you leave Stanford, I hope you carry a deep appreciation of the values and traditions that are everlasting, as well as a willingness to be bold and to approach challenges with a fresh perspective. It is with the recognition that traditions remain vibrant when they are enthusiastically embraced by succeeding traditions and generations that I now invoke a very special Stanford commencement tradition. Graduating students in the stands are many of those who have made your Stanford years possible. Parents and grandparents, spouses and children, siblings, aunts, uncles, mentors, and friends. Whoever played a role in helping you get to Stanford or in supporting you and encouraging you once you were here. So I invite you to please stand, turn to the stands, and join me in saying thank you. And now I will turn the program over to the Provost, John Etchemendy, who will present the winners of the University Awards.
It is my pleasure and privilege to present the Walter J. Gores Awards for Excellence in Teaching. Recommendations for these prizes and the Lloyd W. Dinkelspiel Awards and the Kenneth M. Cuthbertson Award were considered by a committee of faculty, students, and staff. I would like to ask the Gores Awards winners to come to the stage at this time. The Gores Awards were established by a bequest from Walter J. Gores, a Stanford alumnus of the class of 1917. Gores was a dedicated teacher who strove for excellence during his 30 years as a distinguished professor at the University of Michigan. The Gores Awards recognize excellent teaching at the undergraduate and graduate level as defined in its broadest sense to include lecturing, discussions, tutoring, advising, and course development. Teaching is a complex art, as well as an essential cornerstone of university life. I will call each recipient forward to receive his or her award, and I ask that you hold your applause until I've announced all of this year's awards winners. The recipients of the 2008 Walter J. Gores Awards for Excellence in Teaching are Christopher Edwards, Associate Professor of Mechanical Engineering, David Walter, Fellow in Introduction to the Humanities, Matthew Carter, Doctoral Candidate in the Neurosciences Program, Jennifer K. Schwartz, doctoral candidate in the Department of Chemistry. On behalf of the university, I congratulate each of you for this recognition of your excellence in teaching. I would like to ask the Dinkelspiel Awards winners to come to the stage at this time. Lloyd Dinkelspiel's service to Stanford University included the presidency of the Board of Trustees in the 1950s and was characterized by an enduring concern for the quality of undergraduate education at this university. Shortly after he died in 1959, a memorial fund was established to endow the Lloyd W. Dinkelspiel Awards for distinctive contributions to undergraduate education. I will call each recipient forward to receive his or her award, and I ask that you hold your applause until I've announced all of the awards. The recipients of the 2008 Lloyd W. Dinkelspiel Awards for distinctive contributions to undergraduate education are S. Shirley Feldman, consulting professor and associate director in the program in human biology, and senior research scientist in the Division of Child Psychiatry. John McConnell, associate director for public service and public service education at the Haas Center for Public Service. Nisa Airy, senior, majoring in art and art history. Jonathan Julio Jourdain, senior, majoring in economics. On behalf of the university, I congratulate each of you for this significant recognition of your contributions to undergraduate education. The Gores and Dinkelspiel Awards are joined by a third, the Kenneth M. Cuthbertson Award for exceptional service to Stanford University. I would like to ask the Cuthbertson Award winner to come to the stage at this time. This award was established in 1981 to honor the late Kenneth Cuthbertson, one of the early architects of Stanford's long-range financial planning and development programs. The sole criterion for the Cuthbertson Award is the quality of the contribution that the recipient has made to Stanford. This is a fitting, lasting legacy to a man who cared deeply about the university and its values, and whose contributions continue to benefit each and every one of us today. The recipient of the 2008 Kenneth M. Cuthbertson Award for exceptional contributions to Stanford University is Nona Chiarello, Research Coordinator of Jasper Ridge Biological Preserve. On behalf of the university, I congratulate you.
It now gives me great pleasure to introduce this year's commencement speaker, global media leader and philanthropist Oprah Winfrey. Now, I could say that Oprah doesn't need an introduction, but she deserves one. At Stanford, we encourage our graduates to think about the impact they can have on the world and to make good use of their skills. And few people have done so better than Oprah Winfrey. As a young girl, Oprah did not plan on growing up to become a media star. But she did know that she would do something with her life. A native of rural Mississippi, her early years were spent with her grandmother, who taught her to read. Her personal interest and commitment to reading eventually led to the Oprah Book Club, igniting an interest and passion for reading by people across the country and around the world. She also showed an early interest in public speaking. By the age of 3, she was holding church audiences spellbound with her recitations. In grade school, she memorized poetry, verses from the Bible, and the sermons of James Weldon Johnson, delivering them with such zeal that her classmates called her preacher. That gift of oratory has served her well over the years. She began her broadcasting career in high school when a local radio station hired her to read news copy. A stint in Baltimore as news co-anchor followed after her undergraduate degree. But it was clear that reporting was not her genre. As she explained in an interview years later, "I used to go on assignment and be so open that I would say to people at fires, 'That's okay, you don't have to talk to me about it.' When I arrived back at the newsroom, the news director says, 'What do you mean they don't have to talk to you about it?' But her compassion for others may not have gotten her the story, but it's central to the evolution of the Oprah Show. In 1984, she had an opportunity to host a local talk show in Chicago, and the format, talking, listening, and sharing, was a natural for her. Within a year, both the show and its audience had expanded, and the Oprah Winfrey Show was on its way. In 1988, she established Harpo Studios, which produces her show. With Harpo Studios, Oprah became the only African-American woman to own her own studio. And over the 22 years that the Oprah Winfrey Show has been a national syndication, it has received more than 36 Emmy Awards and is seen by millions of viewers every week around the world. Oprah's accomplishments as a businesswoman and global media pioneer are legendary, but it is her work as a philanthropist that truly sets her apart. For more than a decade, she's been urging her viewers to make good use of their lives and make a difference in the world. In 1998, Oprah's Angel Network was launched and has raised more than $50 million, providing assistance to women and children around the world. Many of you probably saw the amazing results of her efforts to help families whose homes were destroyed by Hurricane Katrina. It was truly inspiring. It was. Through the Oprah Winfrey Foundation, she has established schools and scholarships, provided libraries and teacher education, and donated millions of dollars so that young people with promise but without means would have the opportunity for education. After visiting with Nelson Mandela in 2000, she decided to build a school in South Africa, and that pledge grew to become the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa. Oprah Winfrey is a woman of extraordinary accomplishment and has received numerous honors for her achievements. In 2008, she was named to Time magazine's list of 100 most influential people for the 5th time, more than any other person. She received the 2007 Humanitarian Award from the Elie Wiesel Foundation, the 2005 National Freedom Award from the National Civil Rights Museum, the Global Humanitarian Action Award from the United Nations Association, and the 50th Anniversary Gold Medal from the National Book Foundation, and that's just a few of them. Whether she is interviewing Nobel laureates or victims of abuse, getting the country excited about a good book, sharing an experience in O Magazine, or launching a new satellite radio channel appropriately named Oprah and Friends, Oprah Winfrey has demonstrated a zeal for learning, an extraordinary ability to connect with others, and a commitment to helping make the world a better place. On her website, she states, "You get from the world what you give to the world." And throughout her career, she has sought to give to the world in remarkable and varied ways. Her generosity of spirit serves as a model to all of us. Please join me in warmly welcoming our commencement speaker, Oprah Winfrey.
Whoa! Oh, all the books. Thank you. Oh, wait. Well, thank you, President Hennessy, and to the trustees and the faculty, to all of the parents and grandparents, to you, the Stanford graduates. Thank you for letting me share this amazing day with you. I need to begin by letting everyone in on a little secret. The secret is that Kirby Bumpus Stanford class of 08 is my goddaughter. So I was thrilled when President Hennessy asked me to be your commencement speaker, because this is the first time I've been allowed on campus since Kirby's been here. You see, Kirby's a very smart girl. She wants people to get to know her on her own terms, she says, not in terms of who she knows. So she never wants anyone who's first meeting her to know that I know her and she knows me. So when she first came to Stanford for new student orientation with her mom, I hear that they arrived and everybody was so welcoming, and somebody came up to Kirby and they said, "Oh my God, that's Gayle King," because a lot of people know Gayle King is my BFF. And so somebody comes up to Kirby and they say, "Oh my God, is that Gayle King?" And Kirby's like, "Uh-huh, she's my mom." And so the person says, "Oh my God, does it mean like you know Oprah Winfrey?" And Kirby says, "Sort of." I said, "Sort of? You sort of know me?" Well, I have photographic proof. I have pictures, which I can email to you all, of Kirby riding horsey with me on all fours. So I more than sort of know Kirby Bumpus. And I'm so happy to be here. Just happy that I finally, after 4 years, get to see her room. There's really nowhere else I'd rather be, because I'm so proud of Kirby, who graduates today with 2 degrees, one in human bio and the other in psychology. Love you, Kirby Cakes. That's how well I know her. I can call her Cakes. And so proud of her mother and father, who helped her get through this time, and her brother Will. I really had nothing to do with her graduating from Stanford, but every time anybody's asked me in the past couple of weeks what I was doing, I'd say, "I'm getting ready to go to Stanford." I just love saying Stanford. Because the truth is, I know I would have never gotten my degree at all, because I didn't go to Stanford. I went to Tennessee State University, but I never would have gotten my diploma at all, because I was supposed to graduate back in 1975, but I was short 1 credit. I was short 1 credit, and I figured I'm going to just forget it, because, you know, I'm not going to march with my class, because by that point I was already on television. I'd been in television since I was 19 and a sophomore. Granted, I was the only television anchor person that had an 11 o'clock curfew during the 10 o'clock news. Seriously, my dad was like, "Well, that news is over 10:30, be home by 11. But that didn't matter to me, because I was earning a living. I was on my way, so I thought, I'm gonna let this college thing go, and I only had 1 credit. But my father, from that time on, and for years after was always on my case because I did not graduate. He'd say, Oprah Gale, that's my middle name, I don't know what you're going to do without that degree. And I'd say, but Dad, I have my own television show. And he'd say, well, I still don't know what you're going to do without that degree. And I'd say, but Dad, now I'm a talk show host. He'd say, I don't know how you're going to get another job without that degree. So in 1987, Tennessee State University invited me back to speak at their commencement. By then, I had my own show, was nationally syndicated. I'd made a movie, had been nominated for an Oscar, and founded my company, Harpo. But I told them, I cannot come and give a speech unless I can earn one more credit, because my dad's still saying, I'm not going to get anywhere without that degree. So I finished my coursework, I turned in my final paper, and I got the degree. And my dad was very proud, and I know that if anything happens, that one credit will be my salvation. But I also know why my dad was insisting on that diploma, because as B.B. King put it, the beautiful thing about learning is that nobody can take that away from you. And learning is really, in the broadest sense, what I really want to talk about today, because your education, of course, isn't ending here. In many ways, it's only just begun. The world has so many lessons to teach you. I consider the world, this earth, to be like a school, and our life, the classrooms. And sometimes here in this planet Earth school, the lessons often come dressed up as detours or roadblocks, and sometimes as full-blown crises. And the secret I've learned to getting ahead is being open to the lessons from the grandest universe of all, that is the universe itself. It's being able to walk through life eager and open to self-improvement and that which is going to best help you evolve, because that's really why we're here, to evolve as human beings. So, to grow into being more of ourselves, always moving to the next level of understanding, the next level of compassion and growth. I think one of the greatest compliments I've ever received, I interviewed with a reporter when I was first starting out in Chicago, and then many years later I saw the same reporter, and she said to me, you know what? You really haven't changed. You've just become more of yourself. And that is really what we're all trying to do, become more of ourselves. And I believe that there is a lesson in almost everything that you do in every experience, and getting the lesson is how you move forward. It's how you enrich your spirit. And trust me, I know that inner wisdom is more precious than wealth. The more you spend it, the more you gain. So today, I just want to share a few lessons, meaning 3, that I've learned in my journey so far. And aren't you glad? Don't you hate it when somebody says, I'm going to share a few, and it's 10 lessons later? And you're like, listen, this is my graduation. This is not about you. So it's only going to be 3. The 3 lessons that have had the greatest impact on my life have to do with feelings, with failure, and with finding happiness. A year after I left college, I was given the opportunity to co-anchor the 6 o'clock news in Baltimore, because the whole goal in the media at the time I was coming up was that you try to move to larger markets, and Baltimore was a much larger market than Nashville. So getting the 6 o'clock news co-anchor job at 22 was such a big deal. It felt like the biggest deal in the world at the time. And I was so proud because I was finally going to have my chance to be like Barbara Walters, which is who I'd been trying to emulate since the start of my TV career. So I was 22 years old, making $22,000 a year. And it's where I met my best friend, Gail, who was an intern at the same TV station. And once we became friends, we'd say, oh my God, I can't believe it. You're making $22,000 and you're only 22. Imagine when you're 40 and you're making 40. When I turned 40, I was so glad that didn't happen. So here I am, 22, making $22,000 a year, and yet it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. The first sign as President Hennessy was saying, was when they tried to change my name. The news director said to me at the time, nobody's going to remember Oprah, so we want to change your name. We've come up with a name we think that people will remember and people will like. It's a friendly name, Susie. Hi, Susie. Very friendly. You can't be angry with Susie. Remember Susie. But my name wasn't Susie. And you know, I'd grown up not really loving my name because when you're looking for your little name on the lunch boxes and the license plate tags, you're never going to find Oprah. So I grew up not loving the name, but once I was asked to change it, I thought, well, it is my name. And do I look like a Susie to you? So I thought, no, it doesn't feel right. I'm not going to change my name, and if people remember it or not, that's okay. And then they said they didn't like the way I looked. This was in 1976, where your boss could call you in and say, I don't like the way you look. Now that would be called lawsuit, but back then, they could just say, I don't like the way you look, which in case some of you in the back, if you can't tell, is nothing like Barbara Walters. So they sent me to a salon where they gave me a perm, and after a few days, all my hair fell out, and I had to shave my head. And then they really didn't like the way I looked, because now I am black and bald and sitting on TV. Not a pretty picture. But even worse than being bald, I really hated being sent to report on other people's tragedies as a part of my daily duty, knowing that I was just expected to observe when everything in my instinct told me that I should be doing something, I should be lending a hand. So, as President Hennessy said, I'd cover a fire, and then I'd go back and I'd try to give the victims blankets. And I wouldn't be able to sleep at night because of all the things I was covering during the day. And meanwhile, I was trying to sit gracefully like Barbara and make myself talk like Barbara. And I thought, well, I could make a pretty goofy Barbara. And if I could figure out how to be myself, I could be a pretty good Oprah. I was trying to sound elegant like Barbara. And sometimes I didn't read my copy because something inside me said, this should be spontaneous, you know, it should be spontaneous. So I wanted to get the news as I was giving it to the people. So sometimes I wouldn't read my copy and it'd be like 6 people in a pileup on I-40. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I wouldn't read the copy and I'd be, because I wanted to be spontaneous, and I'd come across a list of words I didn't know and mispronounce. And one day I was reading copy and I called Canada, Canada. And I did just that. I cracked myself up on the air. And I decided, this Barbara thing's not going too well. I should try being myself. But at the same time, my dad was saying, Oprah Gail, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. You better keep that job. And my boss was saying, this is the nightly news. You're an anchor, not a social worker. Just do your job. So I was juggling these messages of expectation and obligation and feeling really miserable with myself. I'd go home at night and fill up my journals, because I've kept a journal since I was 15, so I now have volumes of journals. So I'd go home at night and fill up my journals about how miserable I was and frustrated, and then I'd eat my anxiety. That's where I learned that habit. And after 8 months, I lost that job. They said I was too emotional, I was too much. But since they didn't want to pay out the contract, they put me on a talk show in Baltimore. And the moment I sat down on that show, the moment I did, I felt like I'd come home. I realized that TV could be more than just a playground, but a platform for service, for helping other people live their lives. And the moment I sat down doing that talk show, it felt like breathing. It felt right. And that's where everything that followed for me began. And I got that lesson. When you're doing the work you're meant to do, it feels right. And every day is a bonus, regardless of what you're getting paid. It's true. And how do you know when you're doing something right? How do you know that? It feels so. What I know now is that feelings are really your GPS system for life. When you're supposed to do something or not supposed to do something, your emotional guidance system lets you know. The trick is to learn to check your ego at the door and start checking your gut instead. Every right decision I've made, every right decision I've ever made has come from my gut. And every wrong decision I've ever made was a result of me not listening to the greater voice of myself. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. That's the lesson. And that lesson alone will save you, my friends, a lot of grief. Even doubt means don't. This is what I've learned. There are many times when you don't know what to do. When you don't know what to do, get still. Get very still until you do know what to do. And when you do get still and let your internal motivation be the driver, not only will your personal life improve, but you will gain a competitive edge in the working world as well. Because as Daniel Pink writes in his bestseller, A Whole New Mind, he says we're entering a whole new age, and he calls it the conceptual age, where traits that set people apart today are going to come from our hearts, right brain, as well as our heads. It's no longer just the logical, linear, rules-based thinking that matters, he says. It's also empathy and joyfulness and purpose, inner traits that have transcendent worth. These qualities bloom when we're doing what we love. So when we're involving the wholeness of ourselves in our work, both our expertise and our emotion. So I say to you, forget about the fast lane. If you really want to fly, just harness your power to your passion. Honor your calling. Everybody has one. Trust your heart, and success will come to you. So how do I define success? Let me tell you, money's pretty nice. I'm not going to stand up here and tell you that it's not about money, because money is very nice. I like money. It's good for buying things. But having a lot of money does not automatically make you a successful person. What you want is money and meaning. You want your work to be meaningful, because meaning is what brings the real richness to your life. What you really want is to be surrounded by people you trust and treasure, and by people who cherish you. That's when you're really rich. So lesson one, follow your feelings. If it feels right, move forward. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Now I want to talk a little bit about failings, because nobody's journey is seamless or smooth. We all stumble, we all have setbacks. If things go wrong, you hit a dead end, as you will. It's just life's way of saying, time to change course. So ask every failure. This is what I do. Every failure, every crisis, every difficult time, I say, what is this here to teach me? And as soon as you get the lesson, you get to move on. If you really get the lesson, you pass and you don't have to repeat the class. If you don't get the lesson, it shows up wearing another pair of pants or skirt to give you some remedial work. And what I found is that difficulties come when you don't pay attention to life's whisper, because life always whispers to you first. And if you ignore the whisper, sooner or later, you'll get a scream. Whatever you resist persists, but if you ask the right question, not why is this happening, but what is this here to teach me? What is this here to teach me? It puts you in the place and space to get the lesson you need. My friend Eckhart Tolle, who's written this wonderful book called A New Earth, it's all about letting the awareness of who you are stimulate everything that you do. He puts it like this. He says, don't react against a bad situation, merge with that situation instead, and the solution will arise from the challenge. Because surrendering yourself doesn't mean giving up, it means acting with responsibility. Okay, many of you know that, as President Hennessy said, I started this school in Africa. And I founded the school where I'm trying to give South African girls a shot at a future like yours, Stanford. And I spent 5 years making sure that school would be as beautiful as the students. I wanted every girl to feel her worth reflected in her surroundings. So I checked every blueprint, I picked every pillow, I was looking at the grout in between the bricks, I knew every thread count of the sheets, I chose every girl from the villages, from 9 provinces, and yet, last fall, I was faced with a crisis I'd never anticipated. I was told that one of the dorm matrons was suspected of sexual abuse. Well, that was, as you can imagine, devastating news. First I cried, actually I sobbed for about a half an hour, and then I said, let's get to it. That's all you get, is a half an hour. You need to focus on the now, what you need to do now. So I contacted a child trauma specialist, I put together a team of investigators, I made sure the girls had counseling and support, and Gail and I got on a plane and flew to South Africa. And the whole time I kept asking that question, what is this here to teach me? And as difficult as that experience has been, I got a lot of lessons. I understand now the mistakes I made because I had been paying attention to all of the wrong things. I built that school from the outside in, when what really mattered was the inside out. So it's a lesson that applies to all of our lives as a whole. What matters most is what's inside. What matters most is the sense of integrity, of quality, and beauty. I got that lesson. And what I know is that the girls came away with something too. They've emerged from this more resilient and knowing that their voices have power. And their resilience and spirit have given me more than I could ever give to them, which leads me to my final lesson, the one about finding happiness, which we could talk about all day, but I know you have other wacky things to do. Not a small topic, this is, finding happiness. But in some ways, I think it's the simplest of all. Gwendolyn Brooks wrote a poem for her children. It's called Speech to the Young, Speech to the Progress Toward. And she says at the end, live not for battles won, live not for the end of the song, live in the along. She's saying, like Eckhart Tolle, that you have to live for the present. You have to be in the moment. Whatever has happened to you in your past has no power over this present moment because life is now. But I think she's also saying, be a part of something. Don't live for yourself alone. This is what I know for sure. In order to be truly happy, you must live along with, and you have to stand for something larger than yourself, because life is a reciprocal exchange. To move forward, you have to give back. And to me, that is the greatest lesson of life. To be happy, you have to give something back. I know you know that because that's a lesson that's woven into the very fabric of this university. It's a lesson that Jane and Leland Stanford got and one they've bequeathed to you. Because all of you know the story of how this great school came to be, how the Stanfords lost their only child to typhoid at the age of 15. They had every right and they had every reason to turn their backs against the world at that time, but instead they channeled their grief and their pain into an act of grace. Within a year of their son's death, they'd made the founding grant for this great school, pledging to do for other people's children what they were not able to do for their own boy. The lesson here is clear, and that is if you're hurting, you need to help somebody else ease their hurt. If you're in pain, help somebody else's pain. And when you're in a mess, you get yourself out of the mess, helping somebody out of theirs. And in the process, you get to become a member of what I call the greatest fellowship of all, the sorority of compassion and the fraternity of service. The Stanfords had suffered the worst thing any mom and dad can ever endure, yet they understood that helping others is the way we help ourselves. And this wisdom is increasingly supported by scientific and sociological research. It's no longer just woo-woo soft skills talk. There's actually a helper's high, a spiritual surge you gain from serving others. So if you want to feel good, you have to go out and do some good. But when you do good, I hope you strive for more than just the good feeling that service provides, because I know this for sure, that doing good actually makes you better. So whatever field you choose, if you operate from the paradigm of service, I know your life will have more value and you will be happy. I was always happy doing my talk show, but that happiness reached a depth of fulfillment, of joy, that I really can't describe to you or measure when I stopped just being on TV and looking at TV as a job and decided to use television, to use it and not have it use me, to use it as a platform to serve my viewers. That alone changed the trajectory of my success. So I know this, that whether you're an actor, you offer your talent in the way that most inspires art. If you're an anatomist, you look at your gift as knowledge and service to healing. Whether you've been called, as so many of you here today, getting doctorates and other degrees, to the profession of business, law, engineering, humanities, science, medicine, if you choose to offer your skills and talent in service, when you choose the paradigm of service, looking at your life through that paradigm, it turns everything you do from a job into a gift. And I know you haven't spent all this time at Stanford just to go out and get a job. So you've been enriched in countless ways. There's no better way to make your mark on the world than to share that abundance with others. My constant prayer for myself is to be used in service for the greater good. So let me end with one of my favorite quotes from Martin Luther King. Dr. King said, "Not everybody can be famous." And I don't know if everybody today seems to want to be famous, but fame is a trip. People follow you to the bathroom, listen to you pee. It's just try to pee quietly, it doesn't matter. They come out and say, "Oh my God, it's you peed." Oh. That's the fame trip, so I don't know if you want that. So, Dr. King said, not everybody can be famous, but everybody can be great because greatness is determined by service. Yet those of you who are history scholars may know the rest of that passage. He said, you don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You don't have to know about Plato or Aristotle to serve. You don't have to know Einstein's theory of relativity to serve. You don't have to know the second theory of thermodynamics and physics to serve. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. In a few moments, you'll all be officially Stanford grads. Oh, wait. You have the heart and the smarts to go with it, and it's up to you to decide, really, where will you now use those gifts? You've got the diploma, so go out and get the lessons, because I know great things are sure to come. You know, I've always believed that everything is better than when you share it, so before I go, I wanted to share a graduation gift with you. Underneath your seats, you'll find two of my favorite books. Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth, which is my current book club selection. Our New Earth webcast has been downloaded 30 million times with that book. And Daniel Peake's A Whole New Mind, Why Right-Brainers Will Rule the Future, has reassured me I'm moving in the right direction. I really wanted to give you cards, but I just couldn't pull that off. Congratulations. Oh, wait. Oh, wait.
Thank you, Oprah, and we'll invite you back for the cars some other time. Will the provost please come forward to present the candidates for the degrees?
Mr. President, first I have the honor to recognize all those who have completed the requirements for master's and doctoral degrees. They will be presented to you by the deans of their schools.
Will the candidates from the School of Engineering please stand? Mr. President, I present to you those who have completed the requirements for the degrees of Master of Science, Engineer, and Doctor of Philosophy.
By the authority vested in me by the faculty and trustees of this university, I am happy to confer publicly upon you the degrees for which you have been presented and to admit you to their rights, responsibilities, and privileges. Congratulations.
Will the graduates from the School of Engineering please be seated?
Great. Will the graduates from the School of Law please stand? Mr. President, the law school is the only school at Stanford that is still, and for not too much longer, I hope, organized around a semester system. My students completed their coursework and exams in early May and participated in a graduation ceremony a month ago. Most of them are now scattered around the country studying for the bar exam, which is why you see, although a larger than usual handful before you today. Mr. President, I present to you a small portion of the more than 200 candidates for the degrees of Doctor of Jurisprudence, Master of the Science of Law, and Doctor of the Science of Law.
By the authority vested in me by the faculty and trustees of this university, I am happy to confer publicly upon you the degrees for which you have been presented and to admit you to their rights, responsibilities, and privileges. Congratulations.
Will the graduates from the School of Law please be seated?
Will the candidates from the School of Education please stand? Mr. President, I present to you an enthusiastic crowd who are devoted to service for the rest of their lives, who have completed the requirements for the degree of Masters of Arts, Master of Arts in Teaching, Doctor of Education, and Doctor of Philosophy.
By the authority vested in me by the faculty and trustees of this university, I am happy to confer publicly upon you the degrees for which you have been presented and to admit you to their rights, responsibilities, and privileges. Congratulations.
Will the graduates from the School of Education please be seated?
Will the candidates from the School of Humanities and Sciences please stand? Mr. President, I present to you those who have completed the requirements for the degrees of Master of Arts, Master of Liberal Arts, Master of Science, Master of Fine Arts, Doctor of Musical Arts, and Doctor of Philosophy.
By the authority vested in me by the faculty and trustees of this university, I am happy to confer publicly upon you the degrees for which you have presented and to admit you to their rights, responsibilities, and privileges. Congratulations.
Will the graduates from the School of Humanities and Sciences please be seated?
Will the candidates from the School of Earth Sciences please stand? Mr. President, I present to you those who have completed the requirements for the degrees of Master of Science, Engineer, and Doctor of Philosophy.
By the authority vested in me by the faculty and trustees of this university, I am happy to confer publicly upon you the degrees for which you have been presented and to admit you to their rights, responsibilities, and privileges. Congratulations.
Will the graduates from the School of Earth Sciences please be seated?
And will the candidates from the Graduate School of Business please stand? Mr. President, I am pleased to present to you those who have completed the requirements for the degrees of Master of Arts in Business Research, Master of Science in Management, Master of Business Administration, and Doctor of Philosophy.
By the authority vested in me by the faculty and trustees of this university, I am happy to confer publicly upon you the degrees for which you have been presented and to admit you to their rights, responsibilities, and privileges. Congratulations.
And will the graduates from the School of Business please be seated?
Will the candidates from the School of Medicine please rise? Mr. President, I present to you those who have completed the requirements for the degree of Master of Science, Doctor of Philosophy, and Doctor of Medicine.
By the authority vested in me by the faculty and trustees of this university, I am happy to confer publicly upon you the degrees for which you have been presented and to admit you to their rights, responsibilities, and privileges. Congratulations.
Will the graduates from the School of Medicine please be seated?
Now, Mr. Provost, have we forgotten anyone?
I think we're done. Oh, no, wait. Mr. President, I have the honor to recognize all those who have completed the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, and Bachelor of Arts and Sciences. Will you all please stand?
By the authority vested in me by the faculty and trustees of this university, I am happy to confer publicly upon each of you the bachelor degree and admit you to its rights, responsibilities, and privileges. Congratulations, 08!
the graduates please be seated?
Graduates of Stanford University, on behalf of all the members of the Stanford family, I congratulate you and commend you. Every year, as graduates are presented to me for the conferral of their degrees, I respond by admitting them to the rights, responsibilities, and privileges associated with the degree granted by this university. You've worked hard to earn this degree and accomplished much during your time here, and you certainly deserve this day of celebration. But at Stanford, we believe that the rights and privileges of an education also bring a responsibility to give back, to make good use of your knowledge, to change the world for the better, and to help ensure that succeeding generations have the same opportunities that you have had here at Stanford. In recent years, I have made it a commencement tradition to talk about alumni who have demonstrated great personal vision, who took their responsibilities seriously and gave back. One of those distinguished alumni was Melvin B. Lane, or Mel, as most of us knew him. Mel was a businessman, philanthropist, champion of the environment, Cardinal football fan, and dedicated Stanford supporter. His death last summer was a great loss for all of us and for the state of California. Mel came to California from Iowa as a young boy. He attended Palo Alto High and was a member of the Stanford class of 1944. After serving in the Navy, he returned to California and joined his brother Bill, also a Stanford alumnus, to work at his father's travel magazine, Sunset. In 1952, their father transferred operations to the two brothers, with Bill heading up the magazine and Mel overseeing the book division. Mel and Bill ran Lane Publishing for almost 4 decades, transforming it into a celebration of the West. Sunset Books reflected the Western way of living. Indeed, the magazine and books helped shape the West, especially the classic Western gardening book, of which I personally purchased 3 copies since I moved to California. In 1990, Lane Publishing was sold to Time Warner. Mel was still driving his 19-year-old Chevrolet convertible. When asked what he might do after the sale, he said, "I don't plan to do anything different as far as the money goes. I might be able to afford a new car." Mel Lane was not just a remarkably astute businessman. He was a passionate environmentalist and a pioneer in the conservation movement in California. He believed that good business and good environmental policy could work together. In 1965, Mel was appointed by Governor Pat Brown to be the first chairman of the San Francisco Bay Conservation and Development Commission. The commission comprised 27 members, each representing very different interests, and many predicted its failure. Instead, thanks in large part to Mel's leadership, vision, and incredible patience, the commission produced a plan that still protects the bay and its wetlands today. In 1972, Governor Ronald Reagan asked him to head up the new California Coastal Commission. After hundreds of public meetings, the commission delivered a plan that is still conserving our beautiful California coast. In 1977, Mel turned his leadership skills to co-founding the Peninsula Open Space Trust, where he served on the board for more than 2 decades. During that time, the trust preserved nearly 60,000 acres. In 1998, the California League of Conservation Voters named him Conservationist of the Year, writing, "If you look around California, you'd be hard-pressed to find a place of beauty that Mel hasn't played a part in preserving." Throughout his life, Mel was deeply involved in the life of the university, and in that, he was greatly helped by his wife of more than 50 years, Joan. They met in 1952 on a ski trip in Tahoe. They married the following year. Joan is an alumna of Smith College and a loyal one to this day, but she is also a woman of great heart and quickly became an invaluable member of the Stanford family. Joan and Mel were tremendous partners in their support of the university, generous philanthropists, dedicated volunteers who served on countless boards and committees and hosted numerous student events. They supported activities from creative writing and the humanities to the reconstruction of Green Library. Both Mel and Joan have been awarded a Gold Spike, the university's highest award for volunteer service. After the Loma Prieta earthquake, Mel led the drive to restore Memorial Church to its early glory. As Bob Gregg, longtime friend and professor emeritus, explained, Mel could be very persuasive, inviting donors to don hard hats and join him as they climbed up ladders into scaffolding and into the dome of the church. Doing whatever he could for the university, that was Mel Lane, and having fun at the same time. He was so successful that Stanford was able to extend the restoration to include the repairs to the church's upper balconies, which had been closed since the 1906 earthquake. Mel exemplified the Stanford spirit. At his memorial service last fall, held in the much-beloved Memorial Church, with all the balconies open, the song, "This Land is Your Land," reminded us of Mel's joy, his passion, and his great love for our planet. That is his legacy, a story of deep commitment and service to this and future generations. Everything we know to be the Stanford spirit. Today, I hope you leave this campus with a deep reservoir of the Stanford spirit, a reservoir that will grow over the years. I hope that this spirit inspires you as you make your contributions to the world, and I hope that it brings you back to this very special place. And the next time you're in Memorial Church, at some beautiful open space preserve in the Santa Cruz Mountains, or somewhere along the glorious California coast, say a prayer of thanks for your fellow alumnus, Mel Lane. Thank you, and congratulations, graduates.
If you're able, I invite you to stand for the benediction. Beloved graduates of the class of '08, proud family, mentors, and friends, each beginning demands an ending. Every ending promises a beginning. Now is such a time. May these long-awaited endeavors now completed help us remember those whose very lives depend on the quality of our work, the generosity of our spirits, and the preservation of our common world. May you graduates inspire all of us to pursue our potential, to risk that which seems impossible, approach the world with wonder, and delight in knowledge given to cherish and to share. Go now, and may passion inspire you, may injustice trouble you, may hope comfort you, may friendship nourish you, may you sometimes get it right, may you laugh when you don't, may peace surround you, may love embrace you, may gratitude overwhelm you. Go now in peace, live simply, be gentle and at home with yourselves and others. Love mercy, walk humbly, act justly, speak honestly, draw closer and confidently to a new realm of trust and hope. As you go, may you find the right questions to ask. May you give more than you have received. May you know the depth of your knowledge, of your compassion, now and in the days to come. May God bless you and keep you, grant you wisdom and courage, embrace your hearts, and sustain your souls. Go now and begin your new journey today and every day in peace. Amen.